I think we're live. Yeah, I think we're live. Welcome everyone. This is not a situation we want to be in.
No.
That any of us really thought we'd be in. But
It's tough.
it's tough. Yeah, it's tough, and you hate to see it. But Luke has something to say. Sam, you knew this was coming.
There's no easy way to talk about this, but I just want to hear what Luke has to say. He's the man of the hour.
Yeah, Luke, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the floor, and yeah, I think it's just the best for you to talk.
Yeah, so it's been a really tough couple of weeks. Just like coming to terms with like the situation, like what's happened. And I realized that I've been putting a lot of thought into this, and I realized that the best way moving forward to kind of get over this hurdle and this hump is to just address it live here on Try Takes. So I just want to start off by saying I'm really deeply from the bottom of my heart sorry. You know, a couple weeks ago I said something that I think I might regret for the rest of my life. We were talking about overrated and underrated players, and somehow this slipped in to the video. I said that a specific player, more specifically Bijan Robinson on the Atlanta Falcons, rookie running back, was going to be trash, or he was going to be overrated. I just want to formally apologize because I could not have been more wrong. Bijan Robinson is absolutely him, and I would just like to take the time to apologize to my fellow Tri-Takes members. And yeah, I mean, Bijan is him, and honestly, I might have to resign after that one. But yeah, I hope you guys can forgive me. Took a lot to like come out and say that, but yeah, that's all I gotta say. Sam, will you forgive me, bro?
It's a lot. You made a really bold claim
Yeah,
that
man.
affected me personally. I questioned the future of this podcast after it. Where do we go from here when someone says something like that?
Yeah, man, for
But
sure.
I forgive you. I forgive you.
I appreciate
This
that,
can't
man.
happen again, but I forgive you.
Yeah, I got
Welcome to Try Takes, everyone. We're back. We're live. It's time to talk some football. Luke is really sorry.
I'm really sorry, guys.
Yeah, and I won't lie. I was on the Bijan hate. So I feel like I should say something too, but thanks for taking the blame, Luke. We got a few topics tonight. It's currently 7:09 and we're doing our first live show. So gonna try not to slip up.
But we wouldn't anyway.
We're good kids.
Nothing's edited.
I think we got some viewers right now, so that's pretty cool.
Do you really?
Yeah. Why not, right?
Let me see.
I think we have 3 right now. But I don't know.
If you watching this, text me. No.
Yo, shout
Did you
out.
post it?
I just posted, so you're gonna see on my Insta. You're also gonna see on the Tri-Takes Insta that we are live.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but topics wise, we got some AFC North stuff that I'll talk about. We got some Tampa Bay Buccaneers stuff that Luke is going to talk about, and more importantly, Sam, we got some Chicago Bears stuff that you're going to talk about, and then we're going to actually talk some MLB because that's pretty important too. We haven't touched on the MLB in a while, but I think let's go. I want to go right into some recent news that just happened. Cam Akers got traded. The stove is hot, and it's week 3. This isn't like the MLB. The stove is always piping. Cam Akers traded for a late round 2025 pick swap or 2026
6.
pick swap.
It's late round. It just said a pick swap. It
Yeah,
didn't
I
say
saw.
late
I
round.
saw. Rappaport said it's just going to be a late round pick swap, which essentially means you got traded for nothing.
A bag of chips.
These teams are in very similar situations, so I'm not sure what a pick swap will do. Yeah, I would say
one of them
so.
one of them is undefeated and one of them is winless. So I wouldn't say they're in the same.
Well,
situation.
Neither of them are
okay.
undefeated.
I
I'm
thought the Rams
saying
won both their games.
roster wise,
Oh, no,
No,
they're
so
all
no.
last one.
they both were pretty bad last year. The Vikings did make the playoffs and they did get walloped. The Rams now have recovered. Stafford's back. Cooper Kupp is still injured. These are teams that are
I'm
not
so
going to.
confused right now.
These are teams that are not going to win their division. So a pick swap only moves a few, like 5 or 6 picks down the road. But Cam Akers finds a new home. This is after a lot of drama. This is after last year. He had flashes of being really good. He also had flashes of being really good when the Rams won the Super Bowl. He had some good plays, some good runs in that playoff run. So, Sam, what are your thoughts on this?
First off,
Okay,
they are not in the same scenario. The Vikings, I think, are in a better position than the Rams. They did go 13-4 last year. They did lose round 1.
well, the Rams
But I
need picks,
digress.
obviously, going future. But
What?
the Rams obviously need picks in the future. They did throw away a lot of their future for that Super Bowl win. So
Yeah, they definitely do. But my reaction was, to be honest, okay.
yeah,
Like, Cam Akers doesn't really do anything for me. He hasn't done anything for me in a while since his rookie year. He's fine. Vikings get another back with Alexander Madison. Doesn't really mean too much to me, to be honest.
we got Ramos live who commented, and I literally traded Derek for Madison earlier in the day. So that hurts for Ramos. I think, Sam, what you're talking about, kind of a meh. I kind of agree. I think this is only really big for fantasy, if at all, because it's gonna take them a few weeks to get adjusted to their plays, get in the whole Kevin O'Connell system, and will he even fit in? Who knows? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I think it's only really a fantasy factor. It doesn't really change the Vikings' hopes of making the playoffs. Maybe a little, but not much.
So the official trade was Akers and a 7th for a 6th.
Oh, so
nothing.
it wasn't like a round pick swap. It was like they actually.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Really...
The Rams were trading running back Cam Akers and a conditional 2026 7th round pick to the Minnesota Vikings in exchange for a conditional 2026 6th round pick.
Conditional on what? I wonder.
Probably pick swap. Probably like
Yeah,
I don't know, like top of the line. Something I don't know.
Yeah, that was just some quick news. I really don't think it matters all too much, but I think, Sam, you wanted to get into the Bears, and I think that's kind of an appropriate topic because they are currently the laughing stock of the NFL. Certainly that picture of Justin Fields is floating around, of him completely missing his reads. The Bears are a dumpster fire, and it's kind of got inflamed today when their defensive coordinator is reportedly stepping down after some other crazy headlines.
We don't know the info. No comment.
I don't think any of that's happening, but what is confirmed is he is probably stepping down.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys saw the clip, but Justin Fields was asked what could be better or whatever. And he said, I don't know, maybe coaching.
He took that back. He took it back.
Already?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a 5-minute interview in the locker room, and he was like, "No, I could play better. It's not anyone but me."
Okay, but I feel like
but that was his first.
They might have told him to say that.
True.
I don't know. They could have, but like it's hard to take that back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, but
my thing is that was like his first instinct. That was the first thing he could say when he asked the question. I don't know.
Yeah.
So the Chicago Bears, there's a lot of issues with them. Obviously, Justin Fields, I love Justin Fields. Everybody knows I love Justin Fields. He could be a lot better with his reads. I've done stuff that I know none of you guys probably would do, and that's just watch videos about someone breaking down Justin Fields'
Yeah,
film.
we know.
And like,
you are the film guy.
it's crazy to see. He kind of looks lazy in the pocket at times. Just not good. I still really like him. I think he's got to stop with the if my first read's not here, that's fine. I'll go run the ball. I think that's what his mindset's been, but that also can be very fixed with coaching. And the
Yeah.
coaching staff is pretty terrible in Chicago. Matt Eberflus was brought in as a defensive coordinator for the Colts for many years. He kind of sucks. The Bears defense is awful.
Yeah.
One thing, and they tried to build it up like the Indy defense where they didn't focus too much on secondary. Yeah, they got young guys in the secondary, a couple good players. They focus more on the linebackers, which is it's cool to have good linebackers, but if your defensive line is terrible, your defensive line's terrible.
Yeah.
They haven't focused on the line whatsoever. That's great that you have good weapons on the offense. I love the DJ Moore pickup. I love that they have weapons. But if you have no one to protect him and he wants to go run because the pocket collapses, what are you doing? Like what? I don't know what the GM's thinking with that. The only real
100%.
moves he's made was trading for DJ Moore and getting another first round pick this upcoming year, and everyone started praising him.
They drafted what was it? Darnell Wright, right? This year?
Yeah.
And I mean, that was to improve the line. So I don't know
wasn't the best lineman on the board.
Look, there are teams in the league with worse weapons. And that's definitely true.
Yeah.
I just think that what you said is true. He tends to run the ball a little too much. Obviously, that last game against the Bucks, he didn't really run the ball at all. If you look at the stat line, but I really don't think. I mean, it's in a year where the NFC North, excuse me, is just all over the place. They are going to stay
open.
Yeah, it's wide open. And it looks like this is one of the few teams where you can tell they're going to anchor this division. It's pretty clear. They don't have a lot going. Defense isn't even great. It's rough. And they just, again, your coordinator steps down. You're in a bad situation on both fronts. So.
And another thing is, Luke, you mentioned the Darnell Wright pick. I have no issues with Darnell Wright. I think he's going to be pretty good. We'll see how he develops, but they traded with the Eagles. Do you know who the Eagles got for that Bears pick? Jalen Carter.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one thing they needed.
That hurts.
Defensive line. And Jalen Carter was right there, who people were saying before that maybe the Bears were hesitant to trading the first overall pick because they believed in Jalen Carter. Everyone loved Jalen Carter. They don't even take him when he's right there.
So, Sam, I want to ask you as the film god, what has changed for Justin Fields from being really hyped up this offseason, playing some pretty good ball at the end of the year? Obviously, he wasn't a great passer, to these last two games where he just hasn't looked good at all, really.
I mean, it's literally just the reads and the pocket breaking down and wanting to run. Last year, it was okay because he made these great plays. But now he has the weapons and he knows he has the weapons, but still wants to run. And the coaching is terrible. The coaching's really bad. Last year, they just let them run free. But this year, the thing is, not much has changed. He was just better last year. Not much has changed. That's something that needed to change. The offensive line is terrible.
Yeah, and looking ahead at their schedule, who they got next? Kansas City. I mean, that is going to be a blowout. I don't think that's a question. They're running out of time to change things this year, and you certainly can't go into a week 3 matchup against the Super Bowl reigning champs and expect much. So it's bad overall. And I think it's not looking good. So
No, it's looking bad in
Yeah,
Chicago.
it's
But
looking
at
bad.
least they're probably gonna have 2 top 5 picks.
Yeah, that's true. Good thing they traded. I guess it was good for them to trade the number one but I don't know anymore because is Justin Fields the real deal? Who knows?
I want to talk about something else, but we can loop around.
Yep.
I just want to mention something after.
You go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Just another thing, because I was debating on 2 things to talk about. CJ Stroud and the Texans. Yes, the Texans are not good right now. Their
Yeah.
offensive line is pretty bad. But this is the first time I've looked at the Texans in probably 3 or 4 years, and I'm like, wow, this team has life. This team, yes, they got beat by the Colts and the Ravens, but this team is like, they're not an easy out.
No, not at all.
Stroud looked incredible last week. Nico Collins looked great, and they have culture.
Yeah, I would say it's not a full culture yet. I think it's developing, but the help and really what's changed that is D'Amico Ryan. You bring in a new coach who knows success stories. You bring in who looks like the best QB of the class so far, maybe Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
But as far as pure passing goes, CJ Stroud has looked really great. And Nico Collins, who, I'm going to bring up fantasy again just because that's kind of where I see a lot of offensive guys. He was, pretty low on the chart, but just because I think most people thought they were going to be running the ball, especially when you get a defensive-minded head coach. That running back committee or that running back room is turned into a committee, and now Nico Collins and some of these other weapons are being used, and that
I've been saying Nico Collins is going to be good.
Oh yeah,
Collins and Tank Dell have both been Stroud's favorite weapons.
Yeah, that too. Tank Dell. I mean, that was a great pick. He's looking like it's paying off. But I think obviously you look at that division too, and it's like there's a lot of room to work with. Are they what are they going to do this year? Probably not a lot, but
no.
This is I'm a little more. I'm way more confident if CJ Stroud can throw 350 plus passing yards with the Texans O line. He's in a great system.
Laramie Tunsil out.
Yeah, and that means that he can develop, which is what I didn't think would happen.
Everyone was like Stroud's the big question mark. Him and Will Levis. Well, obviously there are question marks, but everyone was like Stroud is worse.
Yeah, and
Bryce Young. Why is he being considered for a top 3 pick?
And if I said this when we were doing our NFC preview, I thought Bryce Young was kind of on paper in a better situation, and I think that's hasn't been the case. The Panthers haven't been putting up a lot of offense. They actually did come back against the Saints. They got within, I think, a touchdown, or maybe it was a field goal. But yeah, CJ Stroud has looked great, and watching that tape back, I did catch some of those highlights of that game. Obviously, they were out for the count for most of that first half, but yeah, they really put on a good passing showcase in the second.
Don't forget that their defense has a lot of potential too, because who'd they draft with the 3rd overall pick? Will Anderson, who is going to be good for a long time. So,
also, I don't know about last week, but I know Jimmy Ward missed the first week. He's a great safety, been a great safety for San Francisco for many years. Jalen Petrie is also out. So they've had guys that have been out, pretty important guys, and there haven't really been close games. But, like, you see these Texans, you're like, shit, we got to prepare for them. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how they play against Jacksonville.
On 3rd down, this year, CJ Stroud is 30 for 37 on passing attempts with 2 drops. So that's 88% completion percentage when you adjust it for the drops. That's incredible.
That's great.
Taking the pressure that is on him and he's working with it. The one question mark I have, which I thought was going to be pretty set in stone, is the running game. I am a Dameon Pierce aficionado. He was a workhorse last year. He got a little overworked. And now he's not really doing too great, and they're kind of making the passing drive this offense. So that's kind of why I'm interested to see. I don't know who they're playing this week. Jacksonville, which is, not a incredibly great run defense. So I'd like to see what they do next week against Jacksonville. I think that's a good test for them, especially after, they lost to the Colts, sure, but this is a real opponent. So we'll see. We'll see where they're at, I guess.
Yeah.
But
and another team in Florida.
Yeah, another team in Florida. Luke, let's talk some Baker.
Yeah. The Bucks, for me, like coming into the season, which I'm sure everyone can agree, the Bucks I thought were going to be one of the worst teams. Like aside from the Cardinals, aside from the Rams, who are actually playing very well, the Bucks were probably one of those bottom echelon teams, in my opinion. But Baker has shown that he still got game, and he is throwing to Mike Evans, who is getting older, and it's his last year on the Bucks, but he's still on pace for his 1,000-yard season, which he's known for. And Baker's looking really good, and he's led this team to success already. It might be a little bit too early, but and is he the quarterback of the future there? Probably not. He looks really good. Maybe he could be like really, really good, like the Baker that the Browns had and thought they were drafting with the first overall pick. But I don't know. And, I think that no matter what, this is Bowles' last season as a head coach. It should have been last year. And that was another reason why I thought they were going to be so bad, was because of that coaching. But I don't know, man. the Bucks have surprised me. I'm sure you both can agree that the Bucks are a surprisingly good team. And not to knock on like the other part of the game, but their line is fantastic. Love Tristan Wirfs. He's great. Their defense is good. Their run game, it could be better, but they have Rachaad White.
He had a good game.
It had a really good game. Yeah. So, they're a solid team. I think, hot take, I think they could make the playoffs if they continue this like streak of how well they're doing. But I don't see them like I see them being like a top 15 team when all said and done. Right now, they're 8th in the power rankings. And I think, honestly, they could stay there depending on how they play. But there's a couple holes in that team for sure. But they're a better team than most. That's what I'll say about them.
I think the question I have is like, who would you rather have right now, Baker Mayfield or Deshaun Watson? And I would say Baker Mayfield. He's leading this team to wins. They had a gritty win against the Vikings week 1. That was really impressive. I picked the spread. And then week 2, they go in and again, it's it's the Bears, sure. And they get another good win. Obviously they got to play some better teams, and I think that's maybe why they're pretty high on the power rankings. I'd like to see. I actually would like. Who are they playing next week? That's a good question. But yeah, I think they got to play some better teams.
They're playing the Eagles. This will be a test.
So
we'll
know this weekend if they're for real. The Eagles, who have kept it close in both games they play, they did get some separation against the Vikings last week, but that'll be interesting. I think that'll be actually, it's a Monday night game, so that'll be a really good game. I like a lot of pieces that offense. Mike Evans doesn't look like he is aged at all. He is still just a physical menace almost. He's just like great. He's great on the deep ball, and God, he's really impressive to watch. And those highlights from their offense, they're there. They're not boring to watch as I think we thought they were going to be. So props to Baker for restarting. I think when the Rams, took him, like I did the big story that week when he debuted is, look, like he's had 2 days to look at the playbook, and he started. This is a whole different situation, and I'm happy for Baker Mayfield. I hope that he continues to find a starting role, kind of like a Fitzpatrick role in the NFL. So.
Yeah, I like how the Bucks have looked so far. I like Baker Mayfield a lot. Mike Evans is probably one of my favorite receivers in the league. The only thing with the Bucks, they have played very well, but playing against defenses that aren't very good. I don't want to hate on the Bucks though. They've looked really, really good.
Yeah.
But I think if any 2-0 team is on fraud watch, it's the Bucks.
Yeah.
They
I
were
would say
convincing wins, though.
yes. They were
Bears
they were
won, I
down
think
in
it was.
yeah. They were down in the Vikings game for a while, so
Yeah.
but that's a strong offensive team, and they kept up with them kind of touchdown for touchdown. So
No, the Bucks they have played very well. Like I don't want to hate on the Bucks. I think they have played very well. But I don't necessarily know if I can say that I think the success will lead them through the whole season. But I really like Baker Mayfield. I really like Mike Evans. I really like this Bucks team. I like Chris Godwin, Rashad White. So if there's any take that I am very okay with being wrong on, it's this one. If I'm wrong on this one, I'll be happy because I like all those guys. I just don't necessarily think they're going to be that successful down the line, and I think they're the most fraudulent.
Yeah, I see the thing with that for me is like that division is just like it's just up and down and not great. So out of the teams I have seen play, they have looked the most impressive. I do think the Saints, the Derek Carr, Chris Olave, I think that's actually a pretty cool connection. I think Olave is going to look great, but and Kamara is coming back, so I think the Saints are probably going to end up looking like the favorites, but the Bucks have looked the best so far.
And the Falcons.
The Falcons.
No knock on the Falcons.
Yeah. Sorry. All these teams in very similar situations. The Falcons, that was a crazy win against the Packers, and
that's a good team.
That's
a good team.
That's a decent team. So Jordan Love's still a fraud. No, I'm kidding.
He still had 3 touchdowns.
He's good.
He's
very good.
He's good. He's good.
The Packers.
By the way,
I
just want to say,
and I'm not apologizing for that. He is just good.
I had this in mind before we started the episode, and I remember a little bit ago we did our award predictions.
Okay.
And this isn't about the Bucks. This is about another team that we talked about. But if Micah Parsons doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year, I'm booking Danielle Hunter to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Danielle Hunter.
He already has 4 sacks, which is tied with TJ Watt as top. And it's only been 2 weeks, but Danielle Hunter has looked really good. And I love Danielle Hunter. He's looked really good. He's a bright spot on that shabby
here's what defense, I'll tell you. If Micah Parsons doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year, he's going to win MVP. Micah Parsons has been unbelievable, and shout out Matt Spirio. This is a year that's looking like a quarterback might not win MVP to start, just because look at the no. Stop.
He has 6 touchdowns already.
Just shut up, please. CJ Stroud is 4th in passing yards, by the way. That's crazy.
Mac Jones is like 6th.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like those
one of those things
guys.
Is not like the other though.
What?
Stroud and Mac.
Yeah, Stroud
Jones.
isn't as good as Mac. Yeah,
one of them's good, and it's not McCorkle.
And it's Matt McCorkle.
McCorkle.
That's his legit middle name. That's so funny.
I don't know. I like Danielle Hunter.
If Micah Parsons doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year, I will shave my head. That's fine.
Actually, we got that on live. We got that on live.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, you're locked in, buddy. Oh man.
Why did I say that? Or it's either gonna be Micah Parsons or Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett, yeah.
I don't know, man. If TJ can stay healthy,
TJ
or Danielle Hunter.
Yeah.
I like how Danielle Hunter was like the last person you said.
Shut up.
I cannot wait to see where Danielle Hunter finishes in the Defensive Player of the Year rankings.
He's never finished very high.
Well, yeah. Anyway, moving on. I did want to talk about the AFC North because I think the AFC North is currently one of the weirdest divisions in football, starting with the Bengals.
And worst.
Yeah, and worst. The Bengals are 0-2 in a division with the Steelers and the Browns. The Ravens, there's nothing
What?
surprising going on there. Um, you have a weird look on your face, so
I'm so confused with what you said.
What?
I said the Bengals are 0-2 in a division with the Browns and the Steelers.
Oh, okay. All right. I was so confused.
What was confusing about
I thought he
that?
said alongside instead of with
Oh,
for some reason. It
Oh.
sounded
anyway,
like
the Steelers, they just got a
Are
win against
trash.
the Browns in
my
the probably
God, they
longest
suck.
Monday Night Football game of all time. This game was so long that Luke went to work, came back, and the game was still going on.
At midnight, by the way. At midnight, I got off of work.
Yeah. Anyways, the Bengals. Joe Burrow is now questionable for week 3.
And it doesn't matter because he's been trash anyway.
Well, yeah.
He's gonna
now,
pick it up though. Sorry,
the coaching staff
Keep
for the
interrupting.
Bengals still is confident. Obviously, they just shelled out the biggest contract in history for him. The Bengals feel confident that he's still fine and that the Ravens have a really strong defense, and that's why he wasn't like superb. Look, re-aggravating your calf injury, like first off, playing with the calf injury has been faulty. You've seen that he has not looked good. He has not played like the Joe Burrow we know. Jamar Chase is 70 receiving yards through 2 games, which is just terrible. Obviously, Higgins got the ball a bit more, but the Bengals are in a bad spot. Obviously, you look back and they always start out slow. These past 2 years, they've started out slow, and they had to play the Ravens, who look great. The Ravens matched the Bengals pound for pound and then won. So yeah, I just think the Bengals are in a really interesting spot. I don't know if like them starting out slow is like, oh, they'll be fine. Like they're in a kind of a tough spot with Burrow potentially being injured. The Browns, the Browns. Obviously some really terrible news is Nick Chubb
Prayers up for Nick Chubb.
right for next
that was just brutal. His mom was in the stands too.
That's tough.
That really hurt me. I saw a TikTok with her before the game, and she was, their Chubb is just really kind hearted, and you can see he gets that from his mom. I just had a bad voice crack. But yeah, them losing Chubb is bad. They just signed Kareem Hunt for $4 million today.
Jerome Ford's gonna have a really good season though.
Yeah, I think Jerome Ford looks pretty good, but the Browns are just in a terrible spot. Deshaun Watson does not look good. This is the one take that we had before the season or my one take that we had before the season. Deshaun was not going to be good. He's been out of the game for too long, and you can see I don't think he trusts his athleticism anymore. He just looks lost. He had those 2 face mask penalties that were like, have you ever seen a quarterback with 2 face mask penalties? And they looked almost intentional. They were bad. Shoved the ref. He just looks lost. And does not look like the same quarterback from years prior. The Browns in a really bad spot. And the Steelers, again, just all over the place. Good defense, offense, like the line isn't good. The running game is bad. They have 1 receiver currently. Deontay Johnson is still injured. Pickett is, I don't even know if you can consider Pickett as your franchise QB. I think all 3 of those teams below the Ravens are currently in crisis mode. Maybe I would say the Bengals maybe a little less than the other 2 just because they are a good team inherently. But yeah, I just think all 3 of these teams are in crisis mode and something needs to happen. So,
I mean, this division, I like watching them play, except for that Steelers-Browns game. That was too damn long.
that was crazy.
They just kind of beat the shit out of each other every single game. Like, they're entertaining, but the Browns have a lot of question marks. Bengals have a lot of question marks, and it's literally just Joe Burrow's calf. That's the big question mark. The Ravens have looked very good, but they also have a question mark with J.K. Dobbins. Who do they get? What do they? I guess they
They just signed Kenyon
unfortunately
Drake.
been in this situation
What is that?
before with J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
They've unfortunately been in this situation before with them.
Yeah.
Steelers, Kenny Pickett, dog, he needs to play better. So much
100%.
better.
100%.
That's your QB, and he was the one coming out of that draft that was the most developed. Maybe it's just a shitty QB class, but he's got to play better.
Yeah,
especially for this team.
that was a bad QB.
Yeah.
If Kenny Pickett is the highlight of that QB class, that's not what you want to see.
That's probably the worst QB class we've seen in a very long time.
Sam Howell looks like he's showing better flashes than Kenny Pickett.
That's a good point. There's just no upside anymore. I think the only upside in that was Malik Willis, right? And
yeah,
he is not going anywhere.
And Najee looks bad.
Najee looks slow getting to the line. He looks slow once he gets past the line. I don't think he's an option. Jalen Warren actually does look pretty good. I think they're probably going to start splitting a lot of carries after he didn't. I think he only had 4 or 5 that first game.
Yeah. Just the offense needs to get better. Should have fired Matt Canada, but it's kind of too late to do that right now.
Yep. But Luke, you got anything to add?
I'm trying to look at the I'm trying to look at that draft class, the 2020 draft class, right?
Yeah, it was no 2021.
No, 2021, yeah.
No, 2022. Oh my god. Sorry.
No, it's not. It's not 2022.
Yeah,
it's
this
not?
last year was 2023.
Oh,
Kenny Pickett was picked 20.
You're so right. Yeah, that's crazy. The draft class looks good only for like defense, really. It was a very defensive. I mean, and you got like Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, but anyway,
some pretty good players.
Hey, Trayvon Walker looks pretty good.
I said defensive.
I know, but just because I feel like I'm the first person to ever talk about him since he got drafted number 1.
Yeah, I mean, and Hutchinson, Sauce, but no, the AFC North I thought was gonna be like one of the best divisions this year, and it's
been pretty miserable.
Doesn't look great. Look that Browns Steelers game. I mean, it's only week 2, and there's still a whole season of football left, but it wasn't a great game. It looked like a dumpster fire, really.
Yeah.
The Steelers got lucky. To put it simply, they just got lucky. They got that their defense is fantastic, but Minka went down, right? And how is he going to be back next game?
Yeah, he came back in the game.
He played the rest of the game, so he's probably okay.
No, but then he went out again.
Oh, I didn't see that. I saw him come back in. But...
and then who else? I mean, who? I'm blanking.
Deontay Johnson?
No, someone just got surgery on the defense.
Cam Hayward.
Yeah, Cam. I don't know how I just blanked on that. Cam Hayward got surgery. He's going to be out for a couple months. Hopefully TJ can stay healthy. I mean, Patrick Peterson's been getting burnt all year. TJ could get hurt. Alex Highsmith actually looked really good. But anyway, it's not just about the Steelers. I mean, and losing Nick Chubb for the Browns, their season might be done. Honestly,
yeah,
they're that was the bright spot. Amari Cooper, sure, but Nick Chubb really was the workhorse production guy on that team. His career might be over, and the Browns season might be over. The Ravens, I mean, they look great. There's really not much there. I mean, they're running is, the big question, and then
Zay Flowers.
I think the Bengals are going to get it together, and ultimately I think that they are going to still win the division. Because this is how they started last year,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of it. That really, I mean,
Yeah.
we'll have to see.
Zay Flowers is definitely the real deal. I would say the best looking receiver so far
I
out of
disagree
that
with
class with Jordan Addison.
Yeah, there we go.
Zay Flowers has 16. Oh, Puka Nakua. Let's get that cleared.
Puka's probably better than all of them.
Puka
right now.
is better than
Yeah.
both. Puka has
But
been
it's because they keep
unbelievable.
feeding him those damn receiver screens.
Yeah, you say the same thing about fucking Michael Thomas.
Puka Nakua could turn into Cooper Cup.
I know. I'm saying the only plays I've seen is the wide receiver screens. Also, I've never said that about Michael Thomas.
He gets all
I've
those
been
little
known
short
Michael
passes, those
Thomas.
dinky short passes, and suddenly he's the best receiver. I'm kidding.
I like Puka, but Zay Flowers, I mean, coming into the year, a lot of people thought, oh, the receiver room's pretty crowded. You know, they have Odell, Rashad
Who's
Bateman,
hurt?
even Nelson Aguilar, whatever. Mark Andrews. Zay Flowers might be the number one option on this offense.
Yeah, I as far as maybe not for the end zone yet. I don't think he has a touchdown, but he had 9 receptions that first game.
No, he has a preseason touchdown.
Yeah, he had
But
9 receptions that first
week
game,
3.
6 in the next. That's pretty good. Not as good as my king, my goat, Puka Nakua, who has 15 receptions last game, 20 targets. That's just first off, that's insane. For
Jordan
rookie,
Addison clears. Just saying.
Jordan Addison's
No,
a
he's
playmaker.
Cooper Cup 2.0.
Jordan Addison is a playmaker. That was a great touchdown. He burnt. I don't even know who was on him. He burned whoever was on him against the Eagles, and I think the receptions, we just got to see those go up, and then it can be promising. But as far as like a deep threat, he's got speed. He's got good moves. So, I think that's all we got for NFL.
Yeah.
I think that's good. Picks of Ryan coming soon. Your boy's on top of the standings right now with, I think, Tom.
I think I'm on the bottom.
I'm
Sam.
No, you're
Luke
not.
actually did worse than you this week. Yeah.
Really?
After those games, because you won the last 2, Luke lost the last 2.
Shit.
So I'm pretty sure you either both finished with only 5 wins.
Oh, that's right. I picked the Panthers and they covered.
Yeah. Panthers covered at the last second, and Steelers definitely covered, and no one except you picked the Panthers and the Steelers. So
I was gonna pick the fucking Steelers.
Yeah, and then we can. I don't know. Did we convince you not to? I don't even know.
No, because
We all did it separately.
Yeah.
No, I sent mine
yeah.
to the group chat, but it was just because I didn't pick them because the receivers.
Oh yeah. But anyway, picks around coming soon, and now
God, man,
we're gonna kind of fulfill some try takes missions because we do cover 3 sports on this podcast.
No, I did the worst. I did the worst this week. Sorry, Sam got 6 wins. I got 5.
How many did I get? 7.
No one was talking about you,
bro.
Then if you
7.
won,
7.
Yeah. What do you say?
Shit, then who was in last this week?
Me,
Luke.
Oh god.
He had 5. You had 6. I had 7.
So probably tied with
Ryan and Tom also had 7. Or Ryan, I think.
No, there was a 3-way tie.
Ryan, Tom, and I. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys both lost to Ryan.
I think that means that me and Sam are probably tied.
Yeah, we gotta touch that. Ryan.
Anyway,
the first try takes members of the week. So anyway, MLB playoffs are coming up, and the playoff picture is kind of closing in, and we haven't talked much because all the football hype. Which, first off, the NFL season's been really great so far. I don't know, football's been really entertaining for me this season. But it's time to talk some MLB. We're going to talk more awards. I think starting off with just some things that are pretty clear. The AL playoff picture is pretty clear. You look at the wild card standings right now. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be Baltimore, Houston, and Minnesota. Those are kind of the top 3. Minnesota is gotten way above 500. The Central was a mess, and now they're 81 and 72.
Correa is headed to the IL.
No, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he re-injured his fasciitis something.
Oh, you plantar fasciitis or whatever.
But it might just mean they're
my
shutting him
girlfriend's gonna
down
kill
until
me
playoffs.
for messing up that. I'm gonna have to ask her how do you pronounce that?
Plantar
Fasciitis.
fasciitis.
Oh man. So the only two that have clinched are Baltimore and Tampa. They have clinched to play. Oh wait, no, not clinched. Or
Yeah,
maybe
Baltimore
have
and
clinched.
Tampa.
Yeah, there's an
Yeah.
X. They've clinched. Houston and Seattle and Texas are currently in a three-way battle for the AL West, and that's really cool. One of these four teams is not going to make the playoffs. Houston, Toronto, Seattle, Texas.
I think it's Toronto.
Toronto's not making the playoffs.
So really, so they're up a half game. If I had to pick, I'd probably go. Oh, God, I don't even know. Seattle is like, I think they're fun. Their roster always looks weaker, but they do play really well together. But their pitching staff has been really incredible. George Kirby has turned into an ace. Luis Castillo was really good. So Bryce Miller, who Luke traded to me in the fantasy baseball season, that was a great trade for me. Didn't help me.
It was a fine trade for me.
Yeah. Well, it didn't help
feel like
us.
if I cared about fantasy baseball,
Oh,
I'd
he's got the
be
cramp.
upset.
I'm gonna stop caring about fantasy baseball because I'm finishing in fourth in both my leagues. Fourth. So I don't get any money in the first, second, because only third, second, and third. Anyway,
your dog shit.
Thank you, David. I appreciate that. But yeah, as far as awards go, AL MVP is pretty clear. It's probably going to be Shohei. You could argue for Corey Seager. He's been pretty incredible in the games he has played. He has around a 7 WAR. He has 108 games played and a 1.03 OPS. I mean, he has 31 home runs and leads the league in doubles with only 100 games played. Too bad he can't stay healthy because otherwise he would clearly be the favorite. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. And then AL Cy Young is probably going to be Sam's guy, Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole is, even though the Yankees are currently, I think, 7.5 back from a playoff spot, and the Red Sox are like 10. Yeah, Garrett Cole has been the only sense of stability in the Yankees this year, and congrats, Sam.
A Cy Young this year.
I think
it's his first ever.
Did we do awards predictions at the beginning of the year? I wonder if I'm gonna have to. I might have to look back at that. That would be kind of interesting to see where we are with that. But yeah, those are pretty clear. It's really the NL that is different, and I think it's interesting. We were talking about Acuna versus Betts.
It's Acuna.
It looks like it's going to be Acuna.
He's one home run away from 40.
40-70, not just 40. 40-70, which has never. I don't think it's ever been done before.
40-40 was impossible.
Yeah. 40-40, I forget who's a member of the 40-40 club. I know Alfonso Soriano,
Jose Canseco, Barry Bonds.
Yeah. Is that it?
Jose Canseco and Barry Bonds have something in common.
They hit a lot of home runs. They're both in the 40-40 club. Who is in the 40-40 club? Oh,
and they have small. Never mind.
A-Rod.
Oh, yeah.
A-Rod as well.
And that too. And him too.
Yeah, what's with this 40-40 club?
Alfonso Soriano
is the only natty one.
A-Rod, Barry, and Jose Canseco. And the crazy thing is most of these players did steroids.
The crazy thing is Acuna was hurt last year.
Acuna better not be doing steroids.
Did Alfonso Soriano did steroids? I don't think he did.
No.
Alfonso Soriano was a freak, by the way. He was probably one of my favorite Yankees. Because my only favorite Yankees are Cano and Soriano, and Cano kind of fell off the face of the earth.
He did steroids.
Yeah, so just to put that in perspective, it's like barely been done before. Obviously, you could maybe be like, the stealing base rule. Nah, Acuna is healthy. That's why he did this. He's healthy. Yeah. Obviously, like that rule helps, but I think he's just incredible, and he's the reason why. Like the Braves won a World Series without him, and then they get him back, and they get Matt Olson, and they get like their rotation looks completely different, and Acuna is what makes them over the top, a juggernaut. They're the new Dodgers essentially, and the Dodgers are still good. So, but yeah, runner up would be Betts, obviously. Betts has still had a great season. That's my utility pick for second half draft. Second half draft is coming soon, by the way. Where we get to discuss. We'll see who wins a. Are we still doing a Bobo? Probably not.
We're doing it. Let's just call it a sandwich.
A sandwich from one various place. Probably Red Fox Eatery. Probably Red Fox Eatery. A number 11. Sam likes it with ranch. Yeah. It's nasty, by the way. It's not nasty. I can't believe you don't like Russian dressing.
I don't. I can't do it.
Good.
Yeah. NL Cy Young is cool though. I think that's really cool because Justin Seal is probably going to win the Cy Young. I think there's still a debate. There's a debate to be had though, between him and Blake Snell. So, just looking at if we could get a side-by-side comparison, I'll look up Blake Snell stats. If Sam, you want to look up steals.
Why can't I look it up?
Go for it, dude.
No, I don't want to anymore.
Okay, well, Snell has a 5.7 WAR. He has a 2.3 ERA. The WHIP is a little high, but it always is with him because he has a lot of walks. 1.195, 227 strikeouts. Good enough for an ERA plus that leads the league at 175. Leads the league in walks though and wild pitches. Yeah.
Steele has a 4.2 WAR.
Okay.
This is B WAR.
This is same thing. B WAR. Yeah.
Okay. And then I don't know what's going on here. Okay. And where am I?
You're right.
2.73 ERA, 3.06 FIP, WHIP 1.139, not bad. 8.3 hits per 9, 0.7 home runs per 9 leads the NL, I think.
Yeah.
1.9 walks per 9, 8.9 strikeouts.
What's his ERA plus?
ERA plus. How do you find that on Baseball Reference?
It says on the standard pitching for.
Oh, okay, 164.
Okay, so Snell leads in like all the like run categories. I'm sure Justin Steele doesn't have 97 walks though, because that's kind of a lot.
He has 35.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a pretty big difference. As far as that goes, I'm probably gonna lean, now that I'm thinking about it, Blake Snell. Just because the WAR probably has contributed to more games. I don't think, and the crazier part is Snell is not going to be a San Diego Padre next year. They have too many contracts. They're that franchise is in a bad situation. So yes, Blake Snell, the Red Sox makes his AL East return. That would be pretty crazy.
I think Mariners.
That would be cool.
He's from Seattle. He'd fill out the rotation.
They have money to spend too.
Yeah.
So I think they can definitely be below where they want to be if they just sign him. They do. I mean, off their offense, they just strike out way too much, and that's kind of been the story.
Yeah, but if you think about that starting five, Kirby, Castillo, Snell, Bryce Miller, George
Robbie Ray, whenever he comes back.
Logan Gilbert.
Yeah. Robbie. It's funny that Robbie Ray just is like, he got injured like the second start.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then NL Rookie of the Year is going to be Corbin Carroll, who I picked in all of my fantasy, or all two of my fantasy leagues. That's my GOAT. That's my king. 25 home runs. He actually just hit his 25th today. He also got his 50th stolen base. So 25-50 season for a rookie. That's someone you're going to have to watch out for 40-40.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and he's a decent fielder. Probably the best left fielder in the league. He plays a consistent left field. Him and Soto, I'd say. But yeah. And then AL Rookie of the Year. Probably Gunner because
It's probably Gunner, yeah.
Just
But
because got hurt.
Costas played the rest of the season, I would have said him.
Yeah,
I think it was going to be Gunner no matter what.
So if you look, Gunner has more WAR by not a lot, and it's because of his defense. But Costas led in like every other hitting category before he got hurt. He had more they had the same amount of home runs. He had a better OPS, better on pace. I think Gunner probably had a better average.
Also, the Orioles are better than the Red Sox.
The Orioles are better. But I don't know. That doesn't really play into Rookie of the Year a lot. That's more of an MVP thing. But Gunner is just fun to watch. He's probably the reason why the Orioles defense is not, or offense is transforming into being really good. Alongside, Mountcastle, alongside Cedric Mullins, alongside
even Ryan O'Hearn,
Hayes, Santander, Ryan O'Hearn, who is I used to love Ryan O'Hearn on the Royals.
Jordan Westberg.
Yep, they got all these.
Winston Kjerstad.
They have
Felix Bautista.
They're going to be good for a while. They're going to be good for a while. Well,
and they have
out.
Jackson Holiday.
Yep.
Yeah, and Holiday's probably going to, at this rate, since he's already in Double-A, he's probably going to play
next year,
which is crazy that he could get drafted before Marcelo Meyer and probably be ready to play.
Marcelo Meyer's trash.
He's hurt. He's hurt.
Terrible.
He's hurt.
He got hurt because he's bad.
Grant's playing aggressively loud jazz music.
I can't hear it, but
I can.
I can too.
I think we're going to focus more on the playoffs and MLB once things start winding down. We'll start that off with the second half draft, but I think that's it for us today. We're about under an hour. Nice job, guys.
And the NBA season is starting in like a month or so.
So we'll start hitting all three sports soon. So
yeah,
yes, sir.
And blogs. I gotta edit Sam's because I'm lazy. He hates me, but
you're both lazy.
Tom Tricoli, thanks, dude. Tom Tricoli just published his blog about a week ago. We are now covering hockey. Barely, but
so Tom's blog comes out before mine.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
I see how it is.
Yeah, I just don't like you. So
I see how it is.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys got anything before we take off?
I need to eat some food before I pass out. I'm so hungry.
I'm sad about having to watch the Giants tomorrow.
With no Saquon.
Oh, that would be fun.
Against
the minus 10.5 line. So, you think they'll cover?
The only thing I'm going to be covering is my face watching the game. I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't think they cover either. That's going to be it for us guys. Pride Takes. We're a podcast. That's all I got.
Yeah, we are.
We are a podcast. First live stream went well.
Yeah, I think it went well.
It's easy.
It's easy to do these. I don't have to post after or like edit when it says something we shouldn't. Picks of Ryan probably coming Friday or Saturday. We'll have to update the Instagram and figure out when. Our socials, we got link trees now, thanks to Luke. Again, we are keeping up the content. We're gonna try to keep it up. Obviously, we got busy lives, but we're gonna keep it up. So, signing off.
See ya.